What's going on, ballers? Hope everybody had a great weekend. Got a few updates to talk about. So before we get started, let's take a look here at crypto bubbles. Market is looking mostly red. Have a few greens popping up. We got Fetch up 5%, Render up 2%. We got HBAR down 1% and Chainlink down 3%. On CoinMarketCap, the Fear and Greed Index is at a 46. So we know retail still not very confident. Bitcoin down 1% for the day. It's at 58,370. We have Ethereum at 2,496, so not too much price action there. Here we got US spot Bitcoin ETFs see net outflows in August despite 8-day inflow streak. And for the total net assets held by all commercially available Bitcoin funds, they decreased by $4.2 billion, bringing the total to around $53.8 billion by the end of August. So there was a week in August where things were really hot, but it cooled off towards the end of the month. September is probably going to be another month where things are kind of cool, but I don't know. It's going to be a little crazy because a lot of Bitcoin is going to be bought. This article says crypto bill passage would be long shot for 2024. So will this year see a cryptocurrency bill make it through Congress? There's a chance, according to a Sunday, September 1st report by CoinDesk, though it is a long shot. The report cited comments from two Republican lawmakers, Senator Cynthia Lummis from Wyoming and Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina. And it talks about, a possible path to adoption, but most likely it will happen in 2025, which I agree with. And here we have crypto is a business chance for Ohio. Digital assets will play a key role in the future of our economy. The Ohio Blockchain Basics Act, House Bill 406, will help prepare our state for that reality. And this bill is good because it's going to prevent leaving Ohio and Ohioans behind. Blockchain is a growing worldwide technology, allowing safer, faster, and more transparent transactions online. More than 2.3 million Ohioans own crypto that uses blockchain, and a lot of Ohio businesses are incorporating technology into daily operations. So they're relying on the lawmakers to implement this. Binance sees blockchain potential for modernizing global payment system. Blockchain can speed payments, Binance research says. Global payments would be cheaper on the blockchain, and blockchain may renovate slower, costlier fiat banking system. And you got to understand, traditional banks are going to go out of business if they don't adopt the blockchain. They're going to have some type of incentive. They're probably going to have to do staking or something of that nature. How crypto's faster payment systems are influencing banks. And as I mentioned, so to bridge the gap, traditional financial institutions are exploring innovative solutions. Visa has introduced a stablecoin settlement for merchants. JP Morgan launched initiatives such as Onyx, the blockchain-based platform for wholesale payments. The UK government's plan to oversee fiat-backed stablecoins signifies a broader trend towards embracing crypto. So a lot of traditional financial institutions are now using blockchain technology to help decrease transaction time and improve global transactional reach. So, there has to be some type of incentive for people to want to continue using banks, especially when there's a lot of branches closing around the country. Here in the US, I can't speak for Europe, but, let me know if you live in Europe. El Salvador calls Bitcoin experiment resounding success with only benefits. Now, from this article that I read, it's a very small amount of people in the country who are using Bitcoin, and some of the people say that they haven't really seen too much of an economic benefit. However, Bitcoin really hasn't been widespread in the country, so there's only a couple of cities who have really implemented Bitcoin and blockchain. It's still an ongoing thing. People expect everything to happen overnight, but it said that Bitcoin has benefited because they've had a lot of tourism, a lot of investments and things come into the country. So that's one thing that brings a lot of benefits to El Salvador. The future of RWA, real-world asset tokenization, a call for standardized verification. Now, this opinion article says, let's say, for example, a watch. It must be authenticated as real and properly tokenized to represent that asset. It involves verifying the watch's serial number, the model, condition, location, and more. Traditional methods require physical inspections and certificates of authenticity. The thing is that if you were to try to put this on a blockchain and have people buy that asset on the blockchain, how do we know it's a real asset and it's just not some type of scam or a rug pull like meme coin? So that's really what this article is trying to address. This article right here, founder of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, has radical scheme for pseudo decentralization of entire cities. And he made this post that says, ideally a hybrid model. So we have a hybrid model today because of land ownership, but he says for-profit and non-profit models have advantages. The key advantage of having an investor class is that if economics are designed right, they represent interests of the class that democracies perennially exclude, people who are not yet here. Existing residents often respond to newcomers with YIMBYism at both national and local levels, while investors are aligned to welcome newcomers. In addition to the myopic question, do we welcome new person X to let a developer build a bigger apartment to house them? This also covers a bigger picture and questions like, do we make a big thematic pivot and reimagine San Francisco's Sunset District as a new Hong Kong? So it does bring up a good question. Another thing is that with real world assets, another thing that would be interesting is, let's say a guy in Africa who never had the opportunity to invest in a place like, Los Angeles or Manhattan because number one, he never been to America. Number two, he doesn't have the funds to go to America. I think that having these assets on the blockchain would be very cool because now he can say, well, I only have $500. I want to own a piece of real estate in Manhattan. It would change the entire dynamic of real estate and finance in general. So a lot of this stuff is very cool. It could democratize property and real estate, and it gives the developers more money to work with because they have a wider market. So, and he makes a good point as well. But if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.